Welcome to Evermere, a city of 1 million residents where chaos, creativity, and colossal growth collide. Let's dive into how I built this sprawling metropolis in City Skylines 2. Quick disclaimer before the video starts. I love building massive functional cities, but I'm not too focused on details or aesthetics. So if you're expecting a neat, polished city, this isn't it. Here, it's all about scale and efficiency. Let's jump right in. This roundabout right here marks where it all began, just 3.5 in-game years ago. Welcome to Evergreen Springs. I started by laying out the main street and zoning it with commercial areas. To the right, low-density residential zones began filling up, housing my new citizens. For jobs, I created Sunset Corner, the industrial district carefully placed downwind to avoid pollution. In those early days, I relied on windmills to generate electricity. As demand skyrocketed, I expanded my streets and developed Cedar Crest, my city's first dense urban district and its future downtown core. Cedar Crest began with a 6-lane road connecting Evergreen Springs to my first major intersection. This intersection became a critical hub for truck traffic heading to Sunset Corner and for residents commuting to work. At this stage, public transportation wasn't an option due to my low budget. As the city grew more popular, I extended my grid and opened in districts of Mulberry Dale and Evergreen Croft. In these districts, I implemented a new zoning pattern: high-density residential buildings along high-capacity streets and commercial zones integrated within low-density residential areas. To improve connectivity, I added pedestrian paths crisscrossing the city, reducing car dependency. You might have already noticed these paths in Evergreen Springs and Cedar Crest. Around this time, I built my first bus station and established the city's first university near the highway, laying the groundwork for future expansion. Meanwhile, I tapped into natural resources, covering a small island with an oil industry and adding an ore mine in Sunset Corner, boosting the city's economy. With the population growing to 200,000 residents, traffic congestion became a major challenge. To address this, I removed crosswalks at key roundabouts and replaced them with overpasses and underpasses to keep traffic flowing. I also built my first elevated highway with 3 major interchanges, providing 3 initial entry points into Evermere. This made a significant difference. Around this time, I established my first subway and tram lines, improving public transportation options and reducing congestion. With a thriving economy, I unlocked advanced services like technical and medical universities, hospitals, and large fire and police headquarters. I even lowered taxes to reward my residents. To meet growing demands for electricity and waste management, I expanded Sunset Corner with an incineration plant and a solar power plant. I also added livestock farms, grain fields, and vegetable farms, which helped reduce import costs. 2 additional highway entries further improved access to the expanded industrial area. With education in place and functioning well, demand for high-density offices soared. To meet this, I placed some offices in Cedar Crest and more in Evergreen Croft, which now serves as the city's secondary skyline hub. As my city continued to grow, I extended the urban highway network and opened the industrial district of Ravenwood Glen, home to oil deposits. I optimized my infrastructure for efficient extraction and placed 2 geothermal power plants to further boost electricity production. Ravenwood Glen also added 4 more highway entries into Evermere, strengthening traffic flow. To future-proof my logistics, I built 3 postal sorting facilities which now manage mail for the city's 19 post offices, processing an impressive 1.6 million pieces of mail per month. To support communications infrastructure, I placed a server farm in the industrial district, supporting radio masts and telecom towers across the city. Meanwhile, I opened an elevated subway station in Cedar Crest, within walking distance of a new train station. I didn't know it then, but this caused a lot of problems down the way. By the time my population surpassed 300,000, the city had started to take on a life of its own, with its unique challenges and triumphs. Next, I expanded the grid beyond the train station affecting Cedar Crest, Mulberry Dale, and Evergreen Springs. This phase included building my fourth university and adding another highway entrance to the city. Then came the creation of my largest district yet, Pinewood Downs. Pinewood Downs stretches along the river downstream and features three massive 8-lane bridges. I began by laying out all the streets and pedestrian paths, then added essential services and public transportation before allowing residents to move in. To support this growth, I built a third industrial district, further reducing resource costs for businesses. For the first time, I also developed real parks, one near Evergreen Springs and two within Pinewood Downs, enhancing my city's livability. However, the rapid expansion caused my highway system to collapse again. To address this, I constructed a second elevated urban motorway, adding two new entry points into Evermere. Additionally, I upgraded the first elevated highway with two more entry ramps to further ease traffic. With Pinewood Downs in place, I constructed an inner-city train line connecting Evergreen Croft, Cedar Crest and Pinewood Downs. Next up was my 10th and final district, Autumn Meadows, located just across the river from Pinewood Downs. This district features 2 train stations, a large park, the National Museum of Art, and my 8th and 9th universities. At this point I probably had too many universities, but hey, better safe than sorry, right? With over 500,000 residents, it was time to place the international airport, which doubles as a terminal for my 2 main train lines. But this is when things started to go wrong. My streets within Cedar Crest started to overflow. With the now working subway hub and train station, I had so many people on the streets that they started to literally block them. Essential services couldn't get through. The sick and dead weren't cared for, and trash piled up. At first, I tried increasing the capacity of my services, but that wasn't the issue. The real problem were the people. So I started building overpasses and underpasses at each junction on the main road connecting Cedar Crest to the highway. That did the trick. Traffic began to flow again and my residents were finally taken care of. I sadly had to sacrifice a few skyscrapers to make room for those necessary overpasses. And now for the final 200 to 300,000 residents is what I call the Great Inflation. Quite literally. I started next to the lake in Evergreen Croft, where I tried a new pattern of residential zones. I added a second train station to the district, a subway connection and lots of services. After that, until Meadows, I added streets and zoning. This included my first 10-lane road to connect the two urban highways. I added a whole new subway line, a train station for Mulberry Dale, Pinewood Downs and Meadows, and some beautiful parks. Finally, I'll come to the figures and stats of my 1 million people city. I'm currently making $51 million a month, with an average residential tax rate of 5%. My most expensive service is education, with over 40 million a month. That's no surprise, with 128 elementary schools housing 275,000 students, 32 high schools with a capacity of 41,000 and 21 colleges handling 31,000 students. My 18 universities enroll a total of 34,000 students. I have 20,000 parking spots without roadside parking and 12 road maintenance depots to keep traffic flowing at 60%. I produce 2.3 thousand megawatts of electricity and I use 24 transformer stations to handle all that power. I also only use sustainable resources to produce my electricity. My 19 hospitals and clinics maintain an average health of 66%. My 9 garbage facility handles 26,000 tons of garbage a month, while my 15 police and fire stations keep citizens safe. In case of natural disasters, 1/3 of my residents can find shelter. My public transport handles 750,000 people a month, with the subway carrying over half of that. 50 radio and telecom towers keep the city connected, and 284 park buildings keep citizens entertained. That's a wrap on our journey through Evermere, my sprawling city of 1 million residents. From humble beginnings with just a few windmills to a thriving metropolis filled with skyscrapers, subways and solar power plants. It's been one heck of a ride. Along the way we tackled everything from traffic nightmares to booming economies, and I couldn't have done it without finding creative solutions to keep things running smoothly. But the journey doesn't end here. The city is constantly evolving, and who knows what new challenges and opportunities lie ahead. If you are as hooked on city building as I am, you know there's always room for improvement. So what do you think? Any suggestions or strategies I should try out in my next expansion? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell for more updates on Evermere's growth. I can't wait to see where we go next. Maybe your idea will be one of that shapes the future of this city. Until then, keep building!